How can people change their minds about us if they don't know who we are? I can see why people change. You get complimented all the time, driven around in a black SUV, your life is crazy. But that's your career, not you. You collect people to take with you. Some people change, other people don't. It's wonderful because I've met some incredible friends. I don't think people change much over 40. Honestly, I think people change after meeting someone you love. People change their partners like they are changing clothes. It's very common now. It's nice being friends over a period of time with people whose music you like so much, or other filmmakers, seeing people change, go through trials. When a marriage founders, this may well be cause for tremendous sadness, but it's not a failure of spirit or character. People change, their goals and dreams alter, their ideas of themselves grow, or they just meet someone they like better. People change over the years, and that changes situations for good and for bad. I'm a believer in forgiveness. I have worked with people who have been in gangs and now dedicate their lives to helping inner-city kids. I've run offender services with teachings of responsibility, empathy, and understanding of the victims at their heart. I've seen people change. I realized that my truest passion was for helping people change through faith in a higher power. That meant, for me, belonging to the church, using my abilities to bring Christian doctrine to a postmodern world. A lot of people, I guess, well, some people change when they get in spotlights and everything, but you can take the girl out of Mississippi, but you can't take Mississippi out the girl. I don't think people change. I am a big proponent of character arcs that show us how people change over time. People change their opinion according to your position, and both politicians and bureaucrats begin to take you more seriously, as they suddenly feel you have become more important. Believe it or not, lots of people change their majors and abandon their dreams just to avoid a couple of math classes in college. Something amazing happens when you tell people you write about sports for a living. You begin to feel like you're in a scene from Dawn of the Dead. The way people change when talking about their team can be nothing short of zombification. I don't think people change, electronics change, the things we have change, but the way we live doesn't change. People change because of kids. They change how they eat. They change the way they think. They change the way they see one another. I think there are certain ways that people are always themselves, but I do think people change. You cannot have the same kind of character again and again in every season or every stage of your life. You change, people change. People change with time. There are things that happen to a person in his childhood and years later they seem to him alien and strange. I am trying to decipher that child. Sometimes he is a stranger to me. When you think about when you were 14, don't you feel a certain alienation? For people who have had curve balls thrown at them, it is easier to digest change and digest change in other people. Change only scares the small-minded and me. Although circumstances may change in the blink of an eye, people change at a slower pace. Even motivated people who welcome change often encounter stumbling blocks that make transformation more complicated than they'd originally anticipated. People change. I'm one of those people who change. There are a variety of techniques to help people change the kind of thinking that leads them to become depressed. These techniques are called cognitive behavioral therapy. I believe people change. I think that they can learn from mistakes. People change and forget to tell each other. People change all the time. The good and bad things are what form us as people. Change makes us grow. Being friends with anyone for 30 years is no easy task. People change, they drift apart, they move on. I'm very interested in how people change. I think comedy is a good way to help people change their minds. I think that if you're laughing and getting a message across, it's a lot easier than when somebody is screaming in your face. Because the biological mechanisms that affect our health and well-being are so dynamic, when people change their diet and lifestyle, they usually feel so much better, so quickly. It reframes the reason for changing from fear of dying to joy of living. Also, the support that patients give each other is a powerful motivator. It's not just about getting a song on the radio or appearing on television. It really is about helping people change their lives one day at a time. I'm very fortunate to have spent so much time in the industry and to have lived through several generations of filmmakers, actors, and technicians. There's a huge volume of experience seeing people change and seeing content change. Money does not change people, people change. A lot of people change for good. Some people just fall off. Just trying to progress in anything, no matter what you're doing, I feel like any progression you make, some people aren't gonna be around you that were around you. I've learned that for many people, change is uncomfortable. Maybe they want to go through it, and they can see the benefit of it, but at a gut level, change is uncomfortable. People change, they grow. Time is something that interests me a whole lot, past and present, and how the past appears as people change. It's normal in a top club that people change. The world is not a static place. People change, evolve. I am the same person who came to this city Mumbai a few years ago to act in Hindi films, and I am just continuing doing that. I did not change as a person. All that happens is people change around me. The fact that what we believe about marriage, that it should be between a man and a woman, and that we're pro-life, somehow that becomes radical? Why is that? It's because our culture has changed. But the truth is, culture may change, people change, but the Word of God never changes, and that's what we rest our belief system on. I firmly believe that every 6 years, a person goes through a serious change. Think about it, at 6, you start school. At about 12, you start hitting puberty. And then it goes on. You start hitting these different mental levels, and people change. I think that's part of the reason the divorce rate is so high. Heat of blood makes young people change their inclinations often, and habit makes old ones keep to theirs a great while. I definitely don't look my age, so I actively look for roles that will help people change their perception of me. You can't make people change, but the organizers of World Fest hope that people consider being vegetarian for both moral and health reasons. As the times change, people change, and so do their tastes, so I try to understand what the public wants, what they require. I have tried to make the music a bit easier for them to understand. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.